Be sure and tell your mother. Northern Soul. Northern Soul.
Hello, you're watching Northern Soul, and today we're going to be discussing Destiny 2, pretty much the rape of it, the game itself, from the different sides of the story. So these are just my opinions and my observations of what I'm seeing thus far in this game, Destiny 2, which is basically Destiny 1, but somebody tried to put a 2 on it. We all get this. We're not stupid. So those of you listening to this, I was going to get into a little bit about Destiny 1, like start there and then get into 2, but I think that's been done to death. We all get it. I think we all are sufficiently loving the game and hating it at the same time. So we're all equally hand in hand disappointed with the overall direction of this game. But we want it to succeed, obviously. Although some of us at this point are so frustrated with the experience thus far that we want to burn it to the ground. And it may still come to that in the future. I definitely don't want to leave that out because keep it up, Bungie, and we'll see what happens. Anyways, try to get on topic here. So let's talk about the three different sides of the game Destiny. So the first side is obviously from the developer, producer point of view, distributor. So we're talking Activision and Bungie there. Bungie, whatever. Budgie. Anyway, second part will be obviously the rape and pillaging of the game Destiny 2 in this case, because Destiny's old hat, by the magazines, by any reviewers, by the content creators of today. As you're watching this, if you're watching on your computer, you'll have a sidebar full of people basically trying to get as much money as possible because everything's monetized, including myself, so you can throw me in that pile too. I don't care. I'll just say it straight as it is. I'm not established enough or big enough as a channel to care one way or the other. I don't have a dog in the fight, so I can say and do as I please, which is how I like it. But you'll know if you look at the titles on the side of I haven't seen what was it just recently? Somebody's got the end boss and the ending of Destiny 2. Like, what has it been out? Like 2 days, 3 days? I don't know. It might be a month from by the time you watch this. But straight away, people just trying to get clicks, trying to capitalize, which is fine. I mean, that's part of our society now, right? That's an aspect of gaming. Now, the third aspect, of course, is the consumer, or the person buying the actual game, the gamer themselves, of which I am part of. And that's probably the biggest category I want to talk about as well. So what we're going to do with the game Destiny 2 specifically. So let's start. And there's no script here. This is just off the cuff sort of thing. This is how I do things. And I just want to kind of promote a discussion. So you'll hear this, you'll listen to it, get comfortable, right? And then if you want to add to the conversation, just add it to the comments below. Everybody's been really nice so far, so just thoughtful in that. If you're like anybody that's a fanboy of Destiny, hey, hats off to you. Good, I'm glad you like it. Those of you that absolutely hate and want to troll the shit out of Destiny, hats off to you. I get it as well. I think most people on both sides are in the middle, really do get it at this point. So let's just be civil about it, right? So let's talk about it. The rape of Destiny 2 by the producers of the game and the people distributing it and all that aspect, the business aspect of the game from start to finish. So obviously it's a business at the end of the day. They don't make no mistake, they don't give a shit about you. They don't even know your name. They don't even know you're born at the end of the day, the consumer. All they care about is you buying the game. You're just a number, a statistic. One person, you're a +1 that bought the game. Now, how do we get you, the +1, to buy more shit in the game? Hence, the inclusion now of these microtransactions. Now, they're not the biggest of deals, but they're slippery slope. Anybody gets that meaning knows where I'm going with this, right? So once you just give them an inch, that's it. They'll push on So whether it's Destiny 2 add-on pack 1 to whatever, or it's Destiny 3, it's going to get even worse. So we're going to have to decide as consumers, voting with our wallets, with our money, whether we want to support this action or not. And it's fine either way, as long as we, if we support it and buy the game and the add-ons and the microtransactions and keep funneling money towards Bungie and Destiny 2, then Destiny 3 will happen. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when Destiny 1.7 comes out, which is Destiny 3. Perhaps. I don't know. I don't want to get all doom and gloom, or I don't want to get all crowed out on it. But it's kind of that's the way it's been going, hasn't it? So microtransactions, and then going a step backwards, because you just sneak it in. So now the thing is like shaders. I think everybody's kind of angry about the whole consumable so shaders now. You can find them in the game. So Luke Smith, he should be a character in the game, I think. Luke Smith comes out and says, yeah, you know what? You can find this shit. You can find shaders in the game. They're going to be everywhere. This is his own tweet. I'm paraphrasing here. This is not an exact quote, but he says, once you get in higher level, you can find shaders everywhere. So, you don't have to buy them. Now, there's also the sort of pay to win, but it's more like pay to wager. So it's like a gambling. You roll the dice on a sort of, you buy these, what are they, illuminated engrams, light engrams, something, whatever they call. I don't give a shit. Stupid names. They have those things now. So you can buy into that. It randomly rolls, and maybe you'll get a +1 in some speedy armor or some sort of thing, or a weapon upgrade, or maybe you'll get the exact same thing you already got. You don't know till you buy it. Please buy our silver with real money.
Are you sure about this?
So it's currency you can buy in the game with real money. A lot of you already know this. The idea is just squeak every last nickel and dime, except they're not dimes, because it's like you're paying dollars at this point. There is no more nickel and diming or pennies or whatever. You're paying dollars. You're paying $5. You're paying $20. You're paying $50 for in-game currency, which might as well just say dollars instead of silver. But just like in casinos, the chips they use don't look like money. They're just numbers on them. They don't represent money. So you're more eager and open to dumping them away. And that's why you don't use real bills at casinos, because you'd be like, oh man, I just pushed $100 into that slot or whatever. And it's a little different when you're throwing chips, and it's just a chip, it's a piece of plastic. Who cares? Same idea. They just turn it up to make it look less important. It hurts less visually, and just the idea of it hurts less. So the less they can get it to sting, the more money you'll give, obviously, which is no problem if you have money, right? Because if you have tons of money, whatever, what's $60 in a game, or $80 or whatever, or $5 here, $50 there, so you don't have to go looking for the stuff. You don't have to spend the time. So time is money for people that have money. So you save time, so you pay up. So that's why I'm not against it, in a sense, because if you have money, then you can save time. Time's precious, because you work hard for the money, or whatever you work. You do nothing for your money, and you still get tons of it because of whatever. Doesn't matter how you come across it, whether you found it on the ground or not. Whether you want to give it to Bungie because you feel that there's that value there, right, for that service or that value of the game. It's there, you wish to exchange. Fine, I get that. But that's going to be their end of Destiny. They're not trying to give you the best game. They're trying to give you a game that will strategically suck the money out of you like some sort of vampire. That's it. And that's why it's 1.5 and not a true Destiny 2, as everybody on the opposite end of that transaction wishes to exist. And you'll see more evidence of that. And I love how there's already people with like a loot cave going on already. It's like, oh, I get they'll patch that up pretty quick. Just a quick going back to Destiny 1. If you all remember, anybody that played it for a while will remember how quickly they would patch out things like loot caves and cheese spots and stuff, but would seemingly take forever to fix things that the community was really having a problem with. So even stuff like, remember, you'd get those legendary engrams, and you'd go to the that dude, whatever his name is, Bellend, whatever his name is. He would just, you'd give him your legendary engram, and then it would turn into like a green or a blue, and it took him forever to fix that. And there was all the memes and everything for that, but right away, as soon as they find out you're cheesing a spot for a strike or something, God forbid you should, somebody should figure that sneaky stuff out. Obviously you don't have to do it, but if you're playing by yourself or with a bunch of knobheads, all the power to you. Well, you paid full price for the game, you should play it any way you wish. That's the way I look at it. But anyways, unless it's like PvP and it's like really unfair, I get that, but that's its own separate thing, right? So that's going to be the rape of Destiny 2 by the producers in that, just by raping the people, basically. We all get that, but if we encourage that by buying the game, and that's where it'll just continue, obviously. So now let's talk about the raping and pillaging of Destiny 2 by the content creators, or the people that do the reviews and stuff like that. So as you can tell by Destiny 2 coming out, before it came out, previews, everybody's got speculations, and I mentioned the thing where the guy's got, somebody's got a video on the end boss and end game cinematics or whatever, 30 seconds of it or whatever. I didn't watch it myself because one day I might want to buy the actual game and play it, even though I'm hoping the story's good. I don't want to ruin it, so I'm not watching any of that stuff. But yeah, I've seen, like, there's, at the time I saw it was like 300 something thousand people have already watched it. Now those are people obviously that are never going to get the game. They're like, well, it's not going to ruin my experience because I'm not going to buy it. Or just people just, I don't know, it's like no spoilers, right? That's obviously the worst spoiler ever if you're even remotely interested in the story, watching that. So people come up with anything to get you to watch the videos, obviously. Hey, I'm making one right now. Hopefully people are watching it. There's adverts on it. That's how I get paid. I don't get paid a lot, though. I'm definitely not my day job, so. But everybody else, there's a lot out there that have a whole team out there. This is all they do and all that stuff. So it's one of those things where they'll like absolutely talk about every stupid aspect of the game, all the nitty-gritty stuff. I've seen some really dumb things, like as soon as I hear anything, it goes up on a video, like a 3-minute video on and some of the stuff that I noticed, the bigger reviewers, I don't know if you've noticed this too, you put down in the comments if you notice it, but some of the reviewers, they start off really good when they're not as big, and then they get bigger and the production gets better and it looks slick and everything, but then they start lipping off the people that buy the game, the actual the gamers themselves, and insulting them because they're pretty much sucking on the tit of the producers and the game developers, because at the end of the day they want to get early access so they can make more videos and previews and all the exclusive invites and all this stuff makes them super cool, and that way they can put up more videos, exclusive videos, get watches, and they're going to be monetized. Maybe they can sell watches on there too, as you can see, like at the start of their videos, like, oh yeah, don't forget to buy this mug or whatever, we're a part of this whatever stupid, get sunglasses at sunglasstits or whatever.com. It's just amazing, like how far, like we get it, like everybody's got to eat at the end of the day, so good for them if it's a good slick program and stuff, but it's sad when it gets to the point where it becomes either you can kind of tell slightly, or it becomes blatantly obvious that they're definitely bought out or biased to the nth degree on so they're not, you can't even trust them, and I just stopped watching them at that point. I'd be like, as soon as I see that name come up, be like, nope. Oh, it's that Cryptark guy. I know, I just remembered his name, Cryptark. That's that guy that does the engrams. Oh, that guy's a prick. Anyways, okay. So we come to the last point, which is the rape and pillaging of Destiny 2 by the consumer themselves. So the gamer and that, which obviously I'm not going to insult your intelligence. Obviously, it's not going to be a rape and pillage by consumers, but get what I'm on here. The idea is that we're gonna take the game for what it is worth, and then we're probably gonna just discard it at the end of the day. At the moment of recording this, I'm having a hard time like playing anything. There's hardly anything that I find inspirational in any game out right now. There's a few games that look interesting in the future, but it's because of some of the games in the past have been so dismal. It's almost like you lose faith. You don't even want to get your hopes up anymore for any games with all the hype and everything. So right now, Destiny launched at a time where I can't think of any game that's really out there that's even at that same level. So it's almost worth buying just on its own, just to have something to do. And as far as like co-op games, like the last co-op game I was playing consistently with my friends was the Ghost Recon Wildlands. So that was a good game, but it's a different game, right? It's like third person. It's more like GTA. This Destiny 2 is more like Halo. Uh, shall I say it? It's more like Destiny 1, which is fine. The gameplay was fine. It's just there wasn't much gameplay in the damn game. It's almost like it was like a hardware demo or something like that, like a game that shouldn't have been released yet. Because oh god, I'm not even gonna get into the Dark Below and House of Wolves. That embarrassment. There was a lot, a lot of abortions that came out passing as uh, you know purchasable content coming later on, sort of thing, and just awful. But anyways, the idea is like I think the people now are just gonna buy it if they can afford it, and just play it for what it is, and just enjoy it for what it is. They'll probably get bored pretty quick because I imagine. I know I played the Strike and I was done after one go. I was like, we played it, finished it, and there was absolutely no talk amongst the group about playing any more, or even like I can't even imagine doing another Strike or a Nightfall version of it. It's just there's nothing compelling about it, and so just on that evidence, I think once you finish the story, after I don't know how many hours that'll be, even if you're dragging your feet and looking around at stuff, it's probably not going to be a very long campaign. Um, I don't know. It's one of those things where I will definitely wait until it probably hits the bin. The only thing going for it right now, I think, if there is, because there's nothing out, if one of my friends or something ends up, but like none of my friends have actually purchased this thing, so nobody's around. Like you might know people or you bought it or something like that, but I don't. There's got to be some people out there as well that everybody's just kind of like, I'm not buying the hype this time. Like I'm just not buying it. And they tried the demo and they're like, you know what? Sorry, son, but you got to do better than that for my money, for for full pop price. So I think it's just going to be a use and discard, like someone you don't even care about. You just have sex with and throw them away, kind of thing. It's definitely not love making. So it'll be interesting to see what game comes out that is going to be worth it in the end. I definitely got my eye on, as far as games like that, I got my eye on Anthem right now. Um, that one looks promising. That looks like what I was hoping like Destiny 2 would be. And at this point, it's like I hope it's nothing like Destiny 2, because we don't need another Destiny 1.5. That's for sure. The microtransactions will continue. They may even get worse. It's gonna just be like cell phone apps all day and all night. And this is across the board in all games until we start voting with our wallets and saying no to it. And but there's gonna be people that will pay because they have the money and they'll say yes, or they're just so enamored by the escapism of what is being offered. So there's value to people, and I get that, and I have no problems with anybody that bought the game and is enjoying it, because they should buy it if they really like it. But there's also people legitimately that are offended by what is almost a slap in the face for what's being offered, and those are the people that are holding off, waiting for the reviews, and just they'll not get fooled again. And I think that's like the middle of the road people, and there's people that will never buy or support anything unless certain guidelines are met for any games, like no microtransactions and all that stuff. That might be a very small percentage of people. I think most people are pretty moderate in that sense, or they're very excited about anything that comes out, because that's what they do, right? If you don't have other hobbies and all you do is play video games and stuff, then you're getting everything that comes out, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. So at the end of the day, Destiny 2 isn't good or bad. It's just a matter of what is the consensus among the majority of gamers. Do we agree with it, or are we going to start shifting away by voting with our money, with our wallets, away from those games? And just maybe as an industry, it needs to take a nosedive, because if we stop buying games like that, Bungie and Activision, they've only got months to live at that point. If they put out downloadable content for sale going forward, seasons passes and stuff, and nobody buys it, nobody buys it, they're going to shut it down, just like other massive things. We're starting to see a trend now, like how big was Mass Effect? And they had Mass Effect Andromeda, and now BioWare, which is no worries, like they're big, right? EA and all that stuff. They it's got to be at least comparable to Activision. It's at the same level as Activision and Bungie, on as far as money and all that stuff is concerned. And they shut that shit down and disbanded whatever that group that actually produced the game, disbanded it. And there's nothing to say that won't happen to Bungie and Activision if we either we vote with our wallets or complain like a bunch of bastards. So hopefully you found this video interesting and interesting to listen to. Think about subscribing. Any sort of support, thumbs up and all that stuff just encourages me to do more of these sort of videos. So thanks for everyone's support and their comments, and I'll catch you on the next video on Northern Soul.